What is going on, everybody? Jonathan here with Gig Nation. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at a couple of different ways that you can be deactivated by DoorDash. Now, nobody wants to get deactivated, and obviously it helps in avoiding deactivation to actually know the different reasons why you might get deactivated. So we're going to hop into 15 reasons why you could potentially get deactivated by DoorDash. But before we hop into that, make sure that you join the Facebook group. That way we can hang out, talk about all the important stuff that matters in the gig economy. I'll leave a link down below and make sure you join that today. Also, if you ever have been deactivated, let us know why. Leave a comment down below and let us know about the message that DoorDash sent you. They always provide a reason for deactivation. So I'd like to kind of know what that reason was and if you were able to appeal that deactivation and get reinstated. So DoorDash does have a form that you can fill out to appeal a deactivation, and I'm going to leave a link for that down below as well. Now, I did a past video about getting reactivated for DoorDash if you happen to get deactivated, and in the past, one of the recommended ways to go about this was to go into an office and actually see if you could talk to DoorDash personnel. Usually they have an office in most major cities, so if you can find one of those, actually getting in there and getting in front of someone is kind of the best possible route. But they have kind of pushed to make this appeal form kind of the more go-to and prominent way of appealing your activation. So I don't actually know if going into an office works as well as it used to in the past. So I'm just going to leave that link down below and make sure you use that if you need to. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this list and look at these 15 things that you should absolutely avoid while you're dashing. So the first reason why you might get deactivated from the DoorDash platform is because you have too low of a customer rating. And this is probably the most common reason why dashers get deactivated. So every market has its own threshold for how low you can let your customer rating go before you get deactivated. Now, I will leave another link for that down below so you can go ahead and check out your market and make sure that you're in the good, in the green, in the right area and not getting too low. So I thought I'd go ahead and mention a couple of ways to make sure and keep that customer rating up. And one of those is to just be friendly. Like, people don't like giving bad ratings to friendly people. And even if you're in a tough situation or something goes wrong, always being friendly and positive is a good way to keep that up. Now, the second way to keep up your rating is to actually just ask for a rating. Now, you want to do this on dashes that went well, maybe not on dashes that went poorly, but if you build some good rapport, it might work for you on just about any dash. But actually asking for that, asking for a good review could help you out. Another thing that you should think about doing is communicating in the app. So while you're making a delivery, letting the customer know your status. Things can go wrong, but if you have open communication with the customer, it kind of takes away some of that doubt that they might be experiencing. And when you remove that doubt, your chances of getting a bad rating and a bad review go down tremendously. And so the last way to keep those ratings up, and this is a very unique thing that I've heard of a dasher doing, is actually buying stickers. Asking for a review and placing them on the food bag before you deliver it, and that way you don't have to be tacky and actually ask the person up front for a good review. You can just leave a little sticker on the bag and hopefully they see that, get to it, and leave you a good review, maybe even a better tip because they saw that. The second big thing that can get you deactivated is by having too low of a completion rating. Now, this also varies by market. Every market has its own threshold. So once again, you're going to want to make sure that you know what that is for your market and that you're staying above that. So completion rating is when you accept an offer, are you following through and actually picking up the food and delivering it? Or are you canceling that order at the last minute, changing your mind, or maybe just not delivering the food at all? So DoorDash understands that occasionally, for whatever reason, maybe you lose your red card, forget your red card, and can't complete the order, that this is going to happen, but they don't want it to happen a ton, which is why they established that threshold. Number 3 is abusive language or verbal assault. So obviously this is a customer service job along with a food delivery job, and the customer is the most important one here. Now, obviously they might do stuff that's frustrating from time to time, but you have to stay away from verbal assault and any poor communication style. You got to maintain that positive attitude the entire time, because if you fail to do so, you could easily get deactivated for this. Now, it's actually not clear in the policy where this abusive language and verbal assault falls. Obviously, You don't want to be rude to the customers. They are the most important here. But I would also stay away from being rude and abusive with your language towards the merchants, because DoorDash cares quite a bit about them. And sometimes they take longer than you want to have food. And honestly, this is one of the easiest places to get frustrated, at least for me personally, because you might end up waiting around for a long period of time, and people might not be prioritizing your order because your pickup or whatever reason. But you got to make sure that when you communicate, you do so in a polite and respectful manner, and obviously not verbally assaulting anyone here, because that could quickly get you deactivated. Number 4 is physical assault or violence. So this is kind of one step up from number 3. Obviously frustrations are there. You should never be raising your voice. And beyond that, you should never physically assault a customer, a merchant, anyone. You shouldn't do this while you're door dashing, and you shouldn't do it in normal everyday life. Now, beyond getting deactivated from DoorDash for this could also land you with some criminal charges. So it's behavior that you always want to avoid. Number 5 of reasons that could get you deactivated from DoorDash is discrimination or harassment. Now, obviously you want to avoid these things. They're not cool in real life. They're not cool while you're dashing. It's not something that you want to be doing. It's almost 2020. We're in 2019 right now. So discrimination is not something that you should be doing. It's not something you should be thinking about. And it's definitely not something that you should be bringing to DoorDash with you. Number 6 on the list is tampering with food. Now, obviously, you should not ever be touching the food before you deliver it. You shouldn't be doing anything with it. You shouldn't be taking a bite of it, eating part of it. You literally just need to pick it up, keep it in the bag, and deliver it. And this is a no-fly zone. You can't do anything to that food, and it's a very quick reason to get you deactivated from the DoorDash platform. Number 7 is dashing under the influence. This includes any kind of drugs or alcohol. Sorry to ruin the fun here, but you cannot be driving high. You cannot be driving intoxicated. It's not something that you can do beyond just being part of the DoorDash policy. This can also get you arrested. It could get you a DUI. So just don't do it. Number 8 on the list is theft. You should not be stealing from merchants or stealing from customers. Now, this seems like a no-brainer, but obviously it's a reason why you can get deactivated. Don't take anything with you while you're dashing other than the food that you have to deliver and drop off. If you grab something, just leave it where it was. Do not steal anything here. The next thing that could get you deactivated is marking deliveries complete when they weren't actually completed. And this is definitely a no-no. If you pick up food, you have to deliver it before you mark it as complete. DoorDash cares about customer satisfaction, so obviously if a customer pays for food, it's your job to get it to them. You can't steal that food and then mark it as complete, or just mark deliveries as complete to make sure that you're getting paid for work that you weren't doing. Number 10 on the list is misuse of the red card. Now, this is probably fairly uncommon, but obviously there's some dashers out there that might think, hey, I'm picking up a large order from the store. Maybe I'll just tell that merchant that there was supposed to be one extra item on that, throw that on the red card, and then deliver everything but that last item to the customer, get some free food out of it. DoorDash can check for this pretty easily. They know what the order total is supposed to be. And some dashers might think, well, it varies a little bit from time to time, so I might be able to get away with this. But actually, it's a reason that could get you quickly deactivated from DoorDash. Number 11 is violating the referral terms of DoorDash. And this is kind of a gray area, but basically just think of it this way. You're only supposed to be referring your friends and family, so don't get too crazy with this. You could probably look up on YouTube and find some video about how to get free food from DoorDash. Stay away from stuff like this because it could easily get you deactivated. If you're a customer or a dasher, you just don't want to be referring people that aren't eligible to the platform. The number 12 reason to get deactivated is by having duplicate accounts. Per DoorDash's policy, you're only allowed to have one account, and they consider duplicate accounts a reason to get deactivated. Now, one of the ways that they check for this is they might actually examine your account a little bit more closely. If you have an incredibly low acceptance rate, they won't actually deactivate you for this, but they do say in their deactivation policy that it might be a red flag to see if you're somehow manipulating DoorDash. So keep that one in mind. Number 13 is fraud, and this is really just a broad category. Anything fraudulent, pretending you are someone that you're not, or lying to customers, just doing anything that could broadly fall under that category could get you deactivated from DoorDash. Number 14 on the list is unsafe driving. Now, a couple of things that are mentioned here are texting while driving. That's something that you should be avoiding. And another is pulling up offers in the app and looking at them without pulling over to a safe place in your car. Obviously something that you want to avoid to be safe. You don't ever want to get distracted while you're driving because it could cause you an accident. And it's also something that DoorDash is going to throw in there to protect themselves, because if they're sending you offers potentially while you're driving and this leads to an accident, they need to have that in their policy to make sure that the onus is not on them. The final reason, number 15, to potentially get deactivated from DoorDash is by providing false info. So this could happen in a number of ways. You could provide false info when you sign up for DoorDash, or maybe you're on the phone with Dasher support and you lie to them about a situation. And the last one is kind of interesting, and it's about providing false information about your vehicle. And I think what they're really looking for here is kind of manipulation of the system. So in the new app, in a lot of places, they have the ability to easily switch between car, bike, and e-bike. And so I could do that myself without actually verifying that I own a bike. Now, certain Dashers will do this because the red zones for a bike are different than for a car, so it might seem like an easy way to get offers, but DoorDash doesn't want you doing this, so definitely stay away from that. And they have ways of knowing, if you're traveling 40 miles per hour on a bike, you're probably lying to them. This could easily get you deactivated. If I missed anything on that list, make sure to leave a comment down below. And also, if you get deactivated, you're looking for a new gig, make sure to check out gigsharks.com, because it covers all of the different gig opportunities by city, and it's a great reference to have in the gig economy. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.